Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
And I'm Justin Warmoth, and we continue to monitor the situation about that deadly plane crash near Washington, D.C. Recovery efforts on the Potomac River ongoing.
This after a mid-air collision last night between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines commuter jet. 67 people are believed to be dead, 64 on the airplane, and 3 soldiers in the helicopter. The NTSB is leading the investigation into this collision. The agency held a briefing to update the public.
The question was, is there been human error or mechanical failure? We don't know what we know just yet. We do not know enough facts to be able to rule in or out human factor, mechanical factors. That is part of the NTSB investigative process.
The NTSB expects to issue its preliminary report in about 30 days. Meantime, flights have resumed at Reagan Washington National Airport. They were paused for nearly 14 hours.
And we also do want to mention at least one person from Central Florida on board the plane. News 6 has confirmed Jonathan Campos was on board. He was from Ormond Beach. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University also sent us a statement saying they are deeply saddened for his passing. He graduated from the school in 2015, and he was the pilot. As we continue to get more details about what caused the crash, who else was on board, we will let you know. Just head to clickorlando.com. All right, let's turn now to your weather. And it was a really beautiful day outside, and I said, well, let's just carbon copy this for year round. I think it was perfect.
It'd be nice.
Well, year round, now you're being a little greedy. I just want the 7-day to play out this way. But
what's the worst that could happen? No? You have to ask.
I guess.
Right,
okay.
Jonathan?
Earthquakes.
Well, yeah, that could be.
If you're talking about Southern California weather.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
That's true, but I'll say this, it was perfect today.
It was,
Really nice.
yeah. We had the mix of clouds and sun, more sunshine than clouds we were talking about yesterday. That helped to get our temperatures back into the upper 70s. We're at 71 right now in Sanford. We're at 71 also in Oviedo, 72 in Orlando, 73 degrees in Kissimmee right now. Just a few passing clouds out there, the clear earth skies again. Going to allow for some fog to develop overnight. So if you're going to work tomorrow, going to school tomorrow, do watch out for some pretty thick fog in spots, especially west of Orlando again. We're at 75 by 7, 67 degrees by 9, 64 degrees by 11, staying in the low 60s after midnight. Very warm afternoon, or very warm evening, even after a very warm day. We'll talk about when records could be threatened in the high temperature department, guys, coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. The dogs accused of killing an 8-year-old Volusia County boy 2 weeks ago have been euthanized. The sheriff's office says Michael Millett was riding his bike in his neighborhood in DeLand when the dogs attacked him.
News 6's Molly Reed is at Volusia Animal Services with the latest in the investigation into the owner.
The dogs were euthanized here this morning. Now, the owner of the dogs had 10 business days to appeal this, but because they never came forward, once the clock struck midnight, that time was up. Now, there is an active investigation and pending litigation, but this is what the county could tell us today.
By capturing the dogs alive, our team was able to also retain and turn over evidence necessary for the investigation.
These were the 2 dogs captured back on January 13th after the violent attack on 8-year-old Michael Millett. Deputies say the dogs were running loose from this property near Millett's neighborhood as he was riding bikes with a friend.
This heartbreaking incident serves as a reminder that we all play a role in community safety, and it is essential to report potential threats to proper authorities.
Detectives with the Volusia Sheriff's Office also took DNA from the dog this morning. I've told you previously that one of the difficult parts of building this case for detectives is they say that even though residents in that neighborhood reported to them after this incident that the dogs were notorious for running loose around there, none of them had ever called animal services, so they didn't have a previous history to go on with this owner. The sheriff tells me he's also trying to push for legislation to change a bill that would strengthen the penalties.
Both fines and criminal charges against anyone whose dogs do exactly what happened to Michael.
Sheriff Mike Chitwood thinks the current law does not let them push hard enough on the owner.
The dogs, under the law, had either attacked somebody before or killed an animal, or there was documentation of them being aggressive, the owner could be charged with a felony to 3rd degree. If none of those things exist, then it's a misdemeanor of the second degree. Somehow that does not seem right.
Now, as far as charges against the owner, the sheriff tells me that now they will hand all of their evidence and everything off to the state attorney's office and all of their suggestions as far as charges. It'll then be up to the state attorney's office here to determine if those charges should stick. In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed getting results, News 6.
It has been more than a year now since a Palm Bay man killed a priest, the priest's sister, and his own grandfather. He also hurt 2 officers, and for the last year, we've been asking why. Well, we might finally have an answer. Police say Brandon Kappas went on a shooting rampage this time last year. Police were called to a family member's house and discovered 2 things. Kappas's car was filled with guns and ammo, and the car had been purchased for him by a local priest. Now, when police tried to talk to that priest, however, they found Father Bob Hoffner and his sister Sally were dead. Ever since then, the community has speculated what might have sparked all of this. News 6's James Sparvero checked in with police. He now has a report we've never seen until now.
We don't know right now what the cause was or what the relationship was with those 2 victims with our suspect.
That was Palm Bay's police chief a year ago, the last time police here held a press conference about Brandon Kappas, the 3 people police say he killed, and the 2 officers police say he wounded. For months after the shootings, I asked investigators for any update on a possible motive, and now I finally have a report which confirms what Brandon's family told me they suspected all along. In this 76-page case report, Brandon's family told police that although Brandon never said anything, they believed that Father Bob Hoffner abused him. Brandon and Father Bob met when Hoffner was a priest at Brandon's school, St. Joseph's on Babcock Street. Police heard from one of Brandon's old classmates who said Father Bob had the boys over his house to help with yard work. That person then said Father Bob inappropriately touched him, but he didn't know if that ever happened to Brandon too. The night before the shooting, the police say that Brandon texted Father Bob that he was coming over. "You have woken up all of Egypt. Ancient Ones knows what you have done." As police got to the crime scene, I read another piece of disturbing evidence. Investigators went into Father Bob's office, where they say they found a folder with notes about abuse. There were 46 white pages of handwritten notes consisting of stories of child sexual abuse. I wanted to ask police today about those notes and whether they think Father Bob abused Brandon. I also reached out to the Orlando Diocese for a response to the report. In his long career, Father Bob was also a priest at other Central Florida parishes. If police or the church talk to me, we'll update this story on clickorlando.com. In Palm Bay, Brevard County, I'm James Sparvero, getting results, News 6.
Florida university system leaders are rushing to address a legal settlement that could cost each of the state's 12 universities at least $22.5 million annually in athletic department expenses. The State University System Board of Governors considering short-term funding flexibility to compete with other states. A final hearing on the House versus the NCAA is set for April. The $2.78 billion settlement would allow athletes to be paid directly and share revenue. University of Florida General Counsel Amy Haas says schools are scrambling to address the pending settlement by looking at ticket prices, more sponsorship opportunities, and even concerts to generate additional revenue.
Our goal is not to have to eliminate the experience that our student athletes are getting, and not to eliminate the sports that, even though they might not be generating revenue, are certainly generating value and prestige.
UCF Board of Trustees Chairman Alex Martins feels schools will need some flexibility if they want to remain competitive nationally.
Some states are allowing, like Ohio State University, to run a $36 million deficit in their athletic program, okay? I'm not advocating for that, but that's what we're up against.
The board hopes to bring the issue back in the next few months with an analysis from the different universities. The new system is expected to be in place by July 1st. Let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. MegaCons, 4-day convention back in Orlando where comics, sci-fi, anime, and gaming enthusiasts can unite. Main events include celebrity Q&As, photo ops, autographs, gaming, and so much more. Appearances of top celebrities include, get this, we're burying the lead here, Millie Bobby Brown.
Wow.
That's 11 from Stranger Things,
Yeah.
along with voice actors from Avatar and The Last Airbender. But Millie Bobby Brown, how about that? The event, what a gift for Comic-Con. The event runs from February 6th to the 9th. We have more details on clickorlando.com, and you can also find the link to buy tickets
Get
within
your
the story.
Eggos and go down there,
How
man.
about that? That's a great
Love it.
gift.
That is
That's going to
really-
be getting a lot more people. I mean, it's already a really popular event, but you throw Millie Bobby
100%.
Brown.
Yeah,
Wow.
I might go now.
Me too.
All right, here are some of the other stories trending right now on clickorlando.com. The 36th annual Zora Fest is back in Eatonville, honoring author Zora Neale Hurston. According to the website, the event will have vibrant performances, interactive art, and a celebration of the cultural contributions people of African ancestry have made to the United States and to the world. Lastly, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay announcing exciting new details about Wild Oasis. The new addition to the park will transport guests into a vibrant environment with new animals joining the park's collection of more than 200 species. You can check out what animals are expected to join the pack by going to clickorlando.com. It's not enough that we have our theme parks here. We're going to Tampa Bay too. It's a fun one.
Busch Gardens is a lot of fun. That's actually where I rode my first roller coaster.
Really? It
Yeah.
used to be more fun when they gave out free beer.
I remember there was a reason why my parents always wanted to go down there, and now I remember it was they had like a beer tent, like a garden, right? Yeah.
Beer
Yeah.
garden,
And it
for
was
sure.
free.
Well, after natural disasters strike, places including here in Florida, FEMA resources are deployed to help with recovery efforts.
Yeah, but President Trump is looking to make some changes to the agency. Coming up, how leaders worry that these changes can impact communities across the state. You're watching News 6 at 6:30, live on News 6 Plus, getting results in Lake Nona, Baldwin Park, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, it continues to be the fastest growing sport in America. Talking about pickleball. Popularity increasing, demand for pickleball courts and indoor facilities across the nation and right here in Central Florida.
News 6 morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer found a unique business combining the love for pickleball with family entertainment.
Pickleball, the sport such a hit. Cities are adding more courts and businesses creating pickleball venues to try to keep up with demand. For the last 3 years, pickleball has been the fastest growing sport in America, spiking 223%, with every age group seeing a jump in participation. That's according to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association.
Once you get the hang of it, it's just pretty, sorry. It's pretty easy to learn.
16-year-old Gwen Schmitz is getting lessons with her dad, Tad.
It's a constant competitive household between the two of us, so, yeah, it's really fun to be here.
Anything you could do to get them off their phones and do something physical is always, I think, a positive.
They're playing at a new venue called Crush Yard in Kissimmee. It's got 10 pickleball courts, a bar, lounge, restaurant, and it's all indoors. That's a big draw for some Floridians.
I love it because it gets so hot in Florida.
General Manager Ben Sinan says this all-in-one entertainment venue was perfect for the location.
A really booming demographic market that's growing, a lot of tourists, a lot of convention business, and there's a lot of people in this area that are really, really passionate about pickleball.
So I wouldn't call myself passionate about the sport just yet, but I'm willing to learn. So I picked up the paddle and jumped in with the Schmitz family.
I like just hitting the ball back and forth. That's fun.
Crush Yard is just one of several new pickleball venues popping up across Central Florida within the last couple of months, bringing more options to the area for pickleheads.
Do you see the demand for pickleball going away anytime soon?
Absolutely not. I mean, with the growth that's expected over the next handful of years, Olympic sport on the horizon, college sports on the horizon, it's just going to continue to grow.
You can learn more about Crush Yard and find a list of pickleball courts near you on clickorlando.com/insider. Crystal Moyer, Getting Results, News 6.
I mean, it's not a far stretch to have pickleball as an Olympic event. Remember, we had breakdancing.
We did.
Let's remember
Pickleball
that.
is no longer a hobby to people. It is.
It's
they
a
mean
lifestyle.
business. It's a lifestyle.
Yes, it is.
And listen, we have so many vacant buildings. Malls and
That's
stuff.
the way to do it, inside.
What about a mall that just becomes the pickle?
We have a lot of empty ones.
Pickle mall?
Whoa.
Pickle mall. Oh, trademark that before we take it.
I'm onto something. That was off the dome.
And
there.
he's never even played.
I haven't.
All right.
So
the craze is coming.
Great. Okay, we'll mull that over. So let's
Yeah.
take you outside right now to beautiful Mount Dora.
Oh, yeah.
This is stunning.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Yeah, wouldn't you just like to sit out there and just kind of reflect on the day?
Yeah.
I would.
Just take it all in.
And you actually can because it kind of feels nice outside again.
Yeah, it does.
Last week at this time, we were in the 40s.
You couldn't sit out there.
Oh, no. Yeah, we hadn't seen a soul on the other Mount Dora cam in months because it's been so cold walking around. It's a live look outside now in downtown Orlando. Temperatures back to the low 70s. We're looking at downtown with a live look with our Light Orlando delivering Hope Sky Cam. The breeze out of the east at about 10 miles an hour tonight. Air temperatures in the 50s in New Smyrna Beach, just barely in the 50s, though. We're at 59. Titusville, just down the road, we're at 73, though. 69 in Mount Dora, 77 in Winter Haven, Holopah. We are at 68. That's all because of the wind direction again. We're touching the easterly breeze there in New Smyrna that's pulling in the cooler air that's hanging out over the, relatively speaking, cooler Atlantic Ocean right now. Do watch out for some fog late tonight, early tomorrow. Rain chances are at 0, but again, just like what we saw the past couple of mornings, with the clearer skies through the evening and overnight, we will see some fog develop again. We're at 59 in Mount Dora tomorrow morning, 60 in Lakeland, 58 degrees in Bushnell and into Wildwood, back to around 60 at the Cape as well. Next system coming in from the west. You see it here materializing. It's moving through St. Louis back towards Virginia. Cold front extends back down to the Gulf right now through Houston back towards Brownsville, Texas. That's what moves into our area as we get into the next couple of days. Out ahead of that front, like today, we are going to be on the warmer side. Pinpointing that for you right here into the weekend. Fast forwarding to Friday afternoon. This is going to be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And notice those scattered showers and thunderstorms again. This front, by the time it gets here, it's going to be a shell of itself. We will watch those showers again try to fall apart. Notice how they get lighter and lighter as we push through Saturday and then work into Sunday as well. Rain chances as a whole on Saturday and Sunday only at about 20%. And again, most of us are going to be on the drier side. Now here's a look at your Pinpoint Accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
we are really warming up tomorrow. 82 in Mount Dora. We're at 77 New Smyrna, 80 degrees in Palm Bay, 76 in Melbourne. We're at 83 degrees in Winter Haven with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Kind of like today, I do think we'll see a few extra clouds popping back in. That's not going to stop temperatures from getting into record territory. I don't think we set any new records tomorrow, but we are close. 84 in Orlando. And again, if we overachieve tomorrow, get back to 86. Again, that was the old record. 82 is the forecast in Sanford. 86 is our old record set back in 2002. I think we stay away from it, though, in Daytona Beach. We're at 78 tomorrow. The record is 86. Leesburg, good evening. We're back to 82 again. Our record also at 86, set back in 1991. So it's going to be close. Don't think we get it, but the closest opportunity will be in Orlando. 75 on Saturday as that front comes through again. That's the kind of front that we're talking about. No big blast of Arctic air of that one. We just get back to where we should be for this time of the year. Pro Bowl on Sunday. That's also Groundhog Day. Place your bets. Shadow or no shadow. We'll see. 83 degrees on Monday. Staying in the low 80s, guys, to the end of the work week.
Jonathan, thank you. We are taking our newscast on the road and listening to your concerns. Ormond Beach, you are our next stop. But before we bring you the news live from your neighborhood, we want to know which stories you want us to cover. Head on over to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad right now and fill out our form. We look forward to hearing from you. Well, you know, this is the time we talk about disasters like hurricanes. Unfortunately, they're so common in Florida. And here in Central Florida, FEMA has played a big role in recovery.
Yeah, no doubt. But last week, just days after he was inaugurated, President Trump suggested changes to FEMA. News 6's Laverne McGee has more.
Hurricanes come and go in our area, and sometimes it can take years to fix the damage. Assistance and grants from FEMA are critical to rebuilding. Last week, President Donald Trump said he thinks FEMA should be overhauled or maybe even discontinued. Alan Harris is the director of the Office of Emergency Management for Seminole County. He says he's worried about the possible changes.
Not having FEMA would provide an incredible challenge. We would have to look at restructuring the entire emergency management system.
But Senator Rick Scott doesn't agree. He dealt with several hurricanes and natural disasters during his time as governor of Florida. I spoke with him via Zoom from Washington, D.C.
President Trump has talked about changing the role of FEMA. You worked closely with FEMA. How would that affect things in Florida?
My experience with FEMA has been positive. There are things that we need to improve. I have a bill that just got passed in December, I think it was, that tried to crack down on the fraud over debris pickup. So I think there's quite a few things we ought to change. Here's what people don't understand about FEMA. Disasters are first local responsibilities, then state responsibility. Then the federal government is a partner. FEMA is a response organization to a governor. Like they don't have a whole bunch of free FEMA trailers. They don't have a whole bunch of employees. What they do is they contract out for help that the governor requests. So I think there are ways that we can make it more efficient, make sure there's not fraud, make sure that we're a good partner, but really disasters are run by the governor and local government.
President Trump has established a 20-member committee to review the agency. The council is expected to come up with a report later this year. Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, the Super Bowl is coming up pretty soon, and if you want an ad for that 30 seconds during the big game, get ready to shell out some huge bucks.
Not really in the market for it, but how about $8 million?
What?
For 30 seconds.
No.
It better be good. Not only is that a record, it eclipses the already record $7 million rate that Fox originally set. But as the game gets closer, demand is exceeding available time, and the rate has skyrocketed. They call that economics 101, supply and demand. So many people should remember that for not just ads, but for just anything.
Just
Sorry
life.
for going on a tangent. Who's got the budget for that kind of advertising? We know they do. There will be surely some surprises. For now, we know some of the usual suspects like Pepsi, Anheuser-Busch. They will be advertising. We've already seen some I also don't understand why
They released
why
them
they're doing the
beforehand.
teaser ad.
Yeah.
I go, I don't really care. Teaser ad?
Years
I don't care about McConaughey talking about Uber Eats. Like, why do you have to tease the ad like I'm going to want to go tune in for that?
It's so funny how they determine. Years ago, I worked at USA Today, and we used to do the ad meter. And then the Monday after the football game, they talk about which ones. And so I got to watch people with their little things. And it's like, I'm like, why aren't you turning your dial? That's really good. But you just never know what people are going to like or not like.
Yeah.
Some of them aren't good. for that price.
I think in years past, I mean, the last couple of years, I think the majority haven't been like memorable.
Not the
I'm not
best
going to say
word.
they're great, but like they're not memorable.
Can't wait to see what AI comes up with this year.
Yeah, it should be great.
We'll be right back.
Coming up in the morning, counting down to the Grammys right here on WKMG.
How this year's event will not only honor the best in music, but also work to get results for victims of the devastating California wildfires.
Plus your pinpoint weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 5 a.m.
All right, Ginger, remember the excitement of unwrapping birthday gifts as kids? Well, it turns out we're not the only ones who love a good surprise.
I like it as an adult, too.
Me too.
So meet a lioness in Wisconsin who could not wait to dive into her birthday treasures. This is at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Patty Sharptooth celebrated her 10th birthday in style earlier this month. The zoo posted the video yesterday showing the resident lioness wasting no time as she tears into some special gifts left in her enclosure. The post says Patty is the mom of Amira and Eloise, two other lionesses at the zoo, and she is described as talkative, smart, and sassy.
My kind of girl.
Yeah, she can be whatever she wants because she can kill you.
But you, she can have whatever you want. But here's the thing. You gift your dogs.
Yes, I do.
But you wrap the gifts like around Christmas time. I love watching animals do this.
Yeah.
Open the gifts, and I do that with Zoe. And it's just, it warms me.
Maybe we just
warms my
have a
heart.
YouTube page with our dogs
Yes, just
unboxing things.
Yes.
Guys,
We're
I
onto
just made us
something.
rich.
Yes. Zoe, I feel like our dogs can make us rich. A little
They
side
can,
hustle.
Yeah, nobody's watching
Just gotta
Scott.
pimp them
Hey,
out.
Thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30.
Stream News 6 anytime on News 6 Plus. Have a great night.
Get to work, dogs.
The
Food allergies in children are on the rise, and it's a major health concern because some can be life-threatening. Joining us now from Orlando Health, Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children, is Dr. Yamin Smati. Thanks so much for being here, Dr. Smati.
Thank you so much for having me, Elizabeth.
So, Dr. Smati, you specialize in a disorder. I'm just going to give the initials because it's a mouthful, in EOE in children. Tell us what that is.
EOE stands for eosinophilic esophagitis, which means inflammation in the esophagus, which is the food tube connects the mouth to the stomach. It's specifically caused by certain foods in 90% of the time, and by some environmental triggers in about 10% of the time.
So it takes a while to figure out what's going on with your patients. And because many of them will have multiple endoscopies, this new procedure, this new equipment that you're using was really important to get them to a better place with their comfort and being able to do this repeatedly. And this was what used to be used.
Right.
This was the scope.
Correct. So you are 100% correct, Elizabeth. Patients with this disorder or this condition require serial endoscopies. In one study, by age 18, they underwent between 12 to 15 endoscopies.
Oh my goodness, okay.
And the traditional way of doing endoscopy is endoscopy under anesthesia. But because there is a need for serial endoscopies, frequent endoscopies, now we can do this with sedation-free, without anesthesia, using this new equipment. This new equipment, as you see, is ultra slim compared to the other equipments which we use, and we can do this without sedation. So we go through the nose, to the throat, to the esophagus. We are able to look very good and to take the tiny samples which we need, called biopsies, to identify the disease condition.
We actually have some video of you in the operating room with one of your patients, and she's using a VR headset. Why do you utilize that during the procedure?
Yes, so now here we are doing a procedure awake on a patient who is, in our case, is a child. They might get scared just getting close to their nose. So we are proud of our Child Life team. Their job is to distract the patient while we are doing the procedure. And to do that, they use different techniques like stress ball, music, TV, and most of the time VR goggle, where they are watching a movie or something they like, just to distract them while we are going through the procedure, which takes something between 5 to 7 minutes.
It's another reason to choose well with Orlando Health. And if you would like more information, you can visit arnoldpalmerhospital.com/kids EOE.